Who is pushing the AI and robotics revolution?
The oligarchy is the billionaires.
The answer is Mr. Musk, Mr. Bezos.
These people are a little too rich. They're a little too powerful. There's a little too much corruption going on.
Mr. Zuckerberg, Mr. Ellison.
And not just from a financial and capitalist perspective, and not just a job perspective and a consolidation of money.
Well, I think we all know what the answer is.
The ideologies and the mindsets of these people.
Here are, in my view, a few questions, just a few, that members of Congress and the American people should be asking. Question number one, a rather obvious question. Who is pushing the AI and robotics revolution? Ordinary people going up and saying, hey, we got to automate factories, we got to do this, we got to do, who's pushing it? Well, I think we all know what the answer is. The answer is Mr. Musk, Mr. Bezos, Mr. Zuckerberg, Mr. Ellison.
Now, this is Bernie's bread and butter, right? Going after the billionaires, the oligarchs, the tech overlords. That's his whole brand, right? And, you know, for the capitalists, you guys may not like that, but I think, you know, I think even most average people that are really sympathetic to sort of the capitalist mindset even have to kind of admit, look, things are getting a little fucking ridiculous. These people are a little too rich. They're a little too powerful. There's a little too much corruption going on. And it's not good for anybody. I do think there's a tipping point, and I think most of us are having to confront that fact as much as we're trying to put that in the back of our minds. I'm not necessarily anti-capitalist. I don't really know enough about economics to really say. I kind of believe that some sort of version of what we are trying to do is kind of the appropriate approach, like having people be able to start their own businesses and own things, and not have the government overly involved in their lives. I think is generally a good philosophy. But depending on the issue, at least, there does need to be regulation. And I do think there need to be democratically socialist policies, whatever you call them, you know, whatever it be, public health, public schooling, public services of a sort, right, that we pay taxes for. And I think that there's a balancing act of both. I think is probably the best remedy. We're just doing a fucking terrible job at that. But I sympathize with Bernie because a huge angle that I'm going to take on the whole AI safety page that I don't think a whole ton of people are really getting at is the oligarchy, is the billionaires, and not just from a financial and capitalist perspective, and not just a job perspective and a consolidation of money, capital, and power aspect. And I want to get into, because I think this is important, the ideologies and the mindsets of these people. And this is where sort of my tinfoil hat is going to kind of come on, and I'll elaborate on this further. Let me say, I am not a conspiracy theorist. I try to give an appropriate amount of credence where I think there's enough evidence. But look, man, I don't think it's a secret that there's a level of psychopathy that develops in individuals that come into certain levels of power, control, and money. I don't know what that through line is, right? But you got people like the Harvey Weinsteins of the world, Cosby's of the world, R. Kelly's of the world, the Diddy's of the world, you know, and those guys are small fish. And I'm not saying that everybody that's a billionaire is some kind of psycho, you know, whatever. But, you know, what is the through line between those people and these kinds of people? And, you know, you mentioned something like the Epstein files, and I think a lot of the people that happen to be in the files happen to be people that are, you know, funding a lot of this AI research and you know, industry. You know, is that a coincidence? I don't know. But again, I think that there's an underlying human psychological aspect that is not being discussed enough into why we're on this endeavor of AI and why is it manifesting in the way that it is. And I don't think it's just capital. I think it goes beyond. But again, that's a bit of my tinfoil hat. You know, we're gonna investigate that further. But
well, I think we all know what the answer is. The answer is Mr. Musk, Mr. Bezos, Mr. Zuckerberg, Mr. Ellison. These are some of the wealthiest people in the world.
I find it interesting Altman's not up there. You know, obviously there's more people than just these four. Um, Look, I'm still learning about a lot of this stuff, and I don't know the insides and outs, but like of like each of these people individually. But I will say, when people mention like Sam Altman, for example, I mean, people inside the tech industry and outside, the word that I keep hearing is sociopath. Like, there's something about that dude that is like off putting to people. There is something about the way he thinks, the way he moves, the way he speaks that I think even within Silicon Valley, it's either like you're with him or you're against him. Like, you know, again, and I think that sort of speaks to this interesting human psychology element that I kind of want to get into. And then Elon, I mean, I think Elon's is pretty fucking obvious. Like, I mean, he's flip flopped more than anyone. I mean, just seeing what he's done with Doge, what he's done with these different companies, going from saying he like starting OpenAI to like prevent this whole thing to now basically birthing this whole movement because of himself and funding it and then being betrayed and then like creating his own company and now racing towards it. Like it's fucking nuts. Like he's all over the fucking place. So there's something to these people and the way that they think, the perverse incentives and what they're chasing that is, I mean, look, man, it's fucking nutty, dude. I think Bernie's right. Like, are these the people that we want? You know, Democrat, Republican, are these the motherfuckers that we want making the rules, replacing us? You know, setting the new rules. You don't even have to be conspiratorial about that. You know, are these the people that we want developing our laws and our technology and the way that we're going to govern our society? I don't fucking think so. But you know,
And they are investing hundreds of billions of dollars in AI and robotics. Okay, fair enough. Why are they doing it? Why are these multi-billionaires?
that's the $1,000,000 question. Pause and ask yourself, everyone. And if you have a great answer, please put it in the comments. Why the fuck are we doing this? Please explain it to me. I don't like. Please don't use the fucking word inevitable because I think that's bullshit. Like, why are we making the choices we're making? Why are we making it the way that we're making it? What do these people want? And out of like their own mouths, we're gonna be fucking surveilling people 24/7. We're gonna be replacing all workers. We're gonna like, how does this serve us and why the fuck are we okay with it? Right? Like, why? Because if it's just for like an advanced Google search, like the shit's cool and like it's got utility. I've been using it like somewhat for research and stuff. Like it's cool, but is it worth that? I don't know, man. Let me know. Like,
Are these multi-billionaires investing huge sums of money into these new technologies? Do you think it's because they are staying up nights and they are saying, my goodness, 60% of the American people are struggling economically. They're living paycheck to paycheck, can't afford groceries, they can't afford housing, they can't afford health care, and that is why we are going to push these technologies to improve life for ordinary Americans. Well, maybe, but I doubt that very much.
me too.
I think the answer is obvious. These multi-billionaires are investing in AI and robotics because those investments will increase their wealth and power exponentially. They will make massive profits. In other words, the richest and most powerful people on earth will become even richer and more powerful.
If they're not doing it for that reason, please comment and tell me why you think they're doing it. is there really some like, you know, effective altruism thing going on here? Like, are they doing it out of the goodness of their hearts? Like, is that like, I would love to hear, different opinions, because I cannot think I cannot think that that is what's going on in like any part of my brain. And it's not that technologies aren't useful, but the drives are important. And again, I think the psychology of people is going to be huge in understanding the incentives here, right? Do we want to let, hugely corrupt, massively wealthy people run rampant, making the things that we use every day? And the technologies that, I mean, we've already done this with social media. We've let Zuckerberg in, we've let Elon in. Everybody that has a Tesla seems to love their fucking Tesla. And, but is having a Tesla enough of a reason to like let the shit go on? Let the motherfucker have $900 billion. Like I think we need to start asking ourselves that question. And again, people are gonna say, counterpoints. People are gonna say, well, the crutch people always use is AlphaFold. Well, look what AlphaFold is doing and how that's revolutionizing biology. Totally true. Ironically, it's a narrow AI. It's not AGI, right? It's a very narrow system, even more narrow than ChatGPT, as far as I know. It's a specialized system that does something specific, but that's besides the point, right? AI can be massively, massively beneficial, beyond chatbots and advanced Google search, and people are trying to do that, but there's not enough of it. Where is the climate change initiatives? Where is the curing cancer initiatives? I'm sure that some people are trying, but these frontier labs are not making it. Like, they could have spent all the money that they spend on developing Sora at OpenAI and never have done that project in the first place and went straight to cancer research. They didn't do that. They decided to steal everybody's IP, flood the internet with deep fakes and slop, get sued by Disney, settle out of court, as far as I'm aware, make $1 billion deal, then realize that they were losing all this fucking money, and then shut the whole fucking project down. So, I mean, this is the fucking mess that we're in. They didn't have to do that, right? So, one very important point is we have the capacity to do so much good already pre this technology, right? We have so many ways that we could already fix the world. And all these accelerationist type people are like, it's going to allow us to do X, Y, and Z thing. This is what people don't get. It's not about capability. It's about will. We already have the capability to do massive good in the world. We could end hunger today. We could fix climate change today. We could, if we knew how to coordinate, work with other countries, and put effort into the right things. Really do things led by evidence and science and come to coordination to fix the world. We can do that now. In so many ways, we are not, right? And that is a will problem. That is not a capability problem. So all these people trying to convince you that once we get all these capabilities, we're going to reach utopia. We're going to get all the great things. You could. You're missing the point. Who's going to give it to you? Who's going to have the will to give it to you? When have hyper rich people ever just decided to really disseminate their wealth in a way that was wildly transformative for the world? It's not these guys. There are philanthropists out there, but there's so much good they could do. There is a will problem. Capability versus will. They could. But ask yourself, are these the people you're going to bet on to give you utopia and make you a part of it? Why the fuck would they do that? What up, y'all? This is Zane the Gambit. Thank you so much for watching this clip on Zane's Zone Unlimited. This is just a clip of a larger video. So if you liked what you saw, please tap the end screen or the video in the description link and watch the full thing. Like, subscribe, comment. I would appreciate it greatly. Thank you so much. I'm out.